So we'll call a meeting.
Okay.
We'll call a meeting to order. And is there any at 9:30? Yeah. Is there any additions to the agenda?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. I don't
Okay.
either. So we need approval
Yeah.
for the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
And all in favor? Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Public hearing, we have none. And so the minutes of the last meeting.
I didn't see any changes to it.
No, neither did I.
I see one. The date? The deputy mayor needs to be Bob Hupp. You just say councillor, did not Ed Watt, am I correct?
Oh, okay, right. I wasn't
Oh.
sure whether that was from before or whether that was the change we made.
No, we'll reverse that and amend
Okay.
that. Okay, hold on.
What section was that at?
Just in the very top section under who's present, so it's Mayor Lauren Thurston, it should be Councillor Ed Watt and Deputy Mayor Bob Hupp.
Oh, okay.
And then we're good.
Okay, I'll just make that change on there. Okay. Thank you. So we need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Favor, yes. Delegation presentation, we have none. So business from the previous council agendas. So 6.1 civic addressing, basically it's a policy that reviews the signage so that the blue signs are all the same, and it's up to the landowner if they need a new one. I'm assuming, Melissa, that we can order them for the folks if one gets damaged or is in disrepair.
Yeah, and we can bill them, so it's just setting the standards
Right.
and who's
So,
responsible after.
yeah, so it's about clearing the brush around the signs and making sure that they're in the right place. If they get removed by a contractor, they have to put them back in. And basically, it's pretty straightforward. The signs came from Calgary, Alberta Traffic Supply. So they have all the templates and everything if we need any other ones.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. The thing, just to confirm, we're paying for Ranch Estates Phase 2, and then this bylaw is going forward after we do Buffalo Ranch Estates, right? After the phase.
Right.
Okay.
And
You made a motion. You made a motion at the last meeting to budget in the 2024 for the Buffalo Ranch Estates because you just taken possession of that as of the 31st of August.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that I don't want to surprise those people, you know?
yeah,
No,
it was Bob, it kind of stemmed from it wasn't put into the development, the subdivision development agreement. It wasn't in there, and I guess going forward, even the street signs, like the stop signs and the yield signs and everything else, I think the responsibility should be on the developer as well.
Yeah, we can make that in any new development agreements or whatever. We can set that out.
Right.
correct.
There was one thing on there, Melissa, on page 3 of 4 at the top. The sign shall be placed at the entrance of the property of the primary access road. We do have a number of properties that have 2 accesses that the land use bylaw now says that they can only have it on their municipal address. But for example, on First Street we have on the corner there, there's an entrance off of First Street, and then there's also an entrance on Buffalo Road. So they have two signs. So I don't know how we can maybe incorporate that in there somehow.
Well, I think for one, it's up to that property owner. If they want to add an additional, I don't see why not. For emergency purposes, I would. But I think this is just setting the standard of at least has to be placed at a primary access.
Okay,
So, but I would leave that to the property owner to decide if they wanted an additional sign for better emergency service access. I don't think we should just go too far into it. Make sense?
I think that with that, I think, you know, if an ambulance is coming, like as long as, like if you're say on, the sign should be on, if you're on First Street, the sign should be on First Street, because that's kind of where the ambulance is going to get brought to by the location by Google Maps or whatever.
yeah, if they're on there, Bob, that's a problem we've been having. But I know that I had a fridge delivered the other day and mine was never on there, but now it is, so there's been some updates.
Okay,
Yeah, and we've been working on helping to update with the Summer Village Association. There's a GIS guys that have been doing this stuff and getting everything ready for the E911 deadlines.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
working with them too.
Yeah, and that'll really straighten up a lot of mistakes if there is any.
Yeah,
Okay, so Melissa, you want a motion to adopt?
you would need to do second and third if you wish. You can do second if you want. It's up to you guys.
I think it looks as though there's nothing in there that's really standing out, and I would suggest we do all readings for it and then just make it happen. It's not as though it's something that can't be changed down the road, right? If there's something that comes up, it's a simple resolution that can do that.
yeah, I agree. I think we need to get it in there.
Yeah.
So I will make a motion for second reading to approve the sign bylaw, the civic address signage bylaw.
197-23.
Yes,
That's
And I'm in,
And then moved by Councillor Huff to approve second reading of civic address and signage bylaw 197-23.
right,
I'm in favor.
I am too. And then we have to make a commitment, Bob, that we both agree that we can do third reading.
Yes, okay.
Actually, you don't have to because you've already done first. It's
Oh,
you
yeah, we
can
did first,
only need to do unanimous consent if you're doing all three.
Okay. So I'll make the motion that we do the third. You in favor, Bob?
Yes, I'm in favor.
Okay,
Right, moved by Mayor Thurston to approve third reading of reading of civic address and signage bylaw 197-23.
yes, good. Thank you.
All in favor?
I'm
All
in favor.
Okay,
Okay, so we're going to 6.2, use of public lands.
I thank Mr. Huff. He sent me some adjustments and changes, and then I did a quick further review. And I did some more amendments to the wordings for public property regulation 4.3, CAO made by direction 5.4, enforcement section referencing back to the proper sections, and consent to use 3.2 have all been amended.
Okay,
Now, one other thing, I was just looking at 8.3.
8.3, okay?
It reads funny to me, the
bylaw.
8.3, a violation ticket in this bylaw is the offenses under the bylaw in respect of which a voluntary penalty may be paid are set out in section 5 of this bylaw. Then we go back to
And
section
then,
5.
that says that. And then B and C start with a voluntary ticket. So
Violation.
it's just reads really funny to me.
Violation ticket is distributed by the province of Alberta. Set out in the Provincial Offences Procedures Act. Regulation may be issued by a peace officer for any contravention of this bylaw. So that's referring it back to the peace officer bylaw, which we've got in
So
here.
instead of that, I think it should say a violation in this bylaw is instead of that, it should be an offense under this bylaw. All right,
Which point is it? 8.3 A or B?
Proceed.
well, all of it all's kind of funny to me, like it starts with a violation ticket. And then it is A, and then it says the offenses. And then it says under B and C, it starts with a violation ticket.
It's explaining what a violation is in the bylaw. So I'll give you the three things. So I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, I see it. And then a violation ticket, let's go that. Violation ticket means a provincial ticket is described in the Alberta Provincial Offences Procedures Act, chapter. Page 34 RSA 2000 and the procedures regulation and may be used in the form either a part 2 summons or a part 3 offense notice. Service and procedures of such violation tickets shall be as per POPA above and pursuant to section 161 of the Traffic Safety Act where applicable. So I think it's a twofold, but if you guys aren't ready to proceed with.
Yeah, sometimes, Bob, some of the explanation for land use bylaw item or any policy directly goes back to the definitions.
Okay, so it's straight out of the Municipal Government Act sort of thing?
Yeah, and I think like if you went to the definitions on page 2 there, that violation ticket, it kind of explains it
Okay,
better, rather than putting that whole section into that definition into the document itself. There's quite a bit of that goes on with land use bylaw as well.
okay, so it's just sometimes just kind of weird wording that comes out of the Municipal Government Act sort of thing?
Yeah,
Well,
it's kind of the way we'd have to summarize it around to reference back to an act.
Okay, that's fine.
yeah, like the definitions sometimes are a very important part to any wording in a document like this.
Okay, other than that, I was fine with it, but that was the only thing I thought it just read funny to me.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
But we can, if it does read funny, we can make that slight change later if there's, right? It's not that,
Yeah, anytime you need to revisit a bylaw, which is what we're supposed to do, is continually revisit our bylaws, because you can repeal and change, and that's the whole point.
Right. Melissa, on 4.4,
Okay,
it says unauthorized uses of public land include but not limited to the following. So we do have like maybe
stripping a
5.
driveway parking pad, which I'm already dealing with.
Yeah,
Or site garage, stairway, walkway, pool, patio,
right.
deck. constructing and or maintaining a skating or hockey rink. So basically, it does state in here that any person wishing to make use of public land may apply to the council of the Summer Village of White Sands in writing.
Right,
But unless you cannot just go willy-nilly and do all these things on public land without something in writing to council, and it's council's decision and discretion if you wish to allow it. Set precedent and decide what you're willing to do.
yeah, so I guess the other thing I just was trying to bring up is that the encroachment agreements are very important, that we get them in order as well for the stuff that's there already on public lands, right?
Correct, and this will help for you to be able to get encroachment agreements or do whatever you decide you wish to do to rectify this type of situations. And moving forward, how do you want to deal with it?
Right. Okay, and just in regards to that section B and 4.4, constructing and maintaining skating rink or hockey rink, like, I mean, we could include, we don't necessarily have to, but I'm just thinking of a pickleball court or tennis court or whatever people make, they want to have done, they would have to directly go to the village to get it done first. But also with the pickleball court, which Bob has brought up a number of times, is if that was to be in a residential area on someone's private property, we should maybe bring that to the land use bylaw to control that, because there's nothing in there to control it, except maybe in the community standards because of the noise, right? So that's something that we should maybe put on the radar.
Yeah, I agree. I have real concerns about pickleball courts. I think it's a great game and stuff, but I think you have to put it in a place that it's not going to be bothersome to the neighbors, because it definitely is an irritating sound, you know?
Yeah, but that really doesn't, I just brought it up just so we got it on radar, because it's not really would be part of this document, but we should maybe
Because this is dealing with your municipal land, municipal reserve, public land, environmental reserve. This is what this is dealing with.
Yeah, which we control, so that's good, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's okay. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Like I say, I just thought that one wording, but I think you're right. It just comes out of the municipal government's rules and stuff. So it just, sometimes you just get this weird legal word, weird legalese,
Yeah. So
we've done one reading of this, right? So
Yes.
I would make a motion that we approve the second reading of the public land bylaw 198-23.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I'm in favor.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Huff to approve second reading of use of public lands bylaw 198-23.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I'll move third on it.
okay,
And I'll agree with that.
okay, moved by Mayor Thurston to approve third reading of use of public lands bylaw 198-23.
third and final reading.
Third and final reading, sorry.
Okay,
Okay, all in favor, we're done there.
In favor, yes.
Okay, and so the next one is the bylaw enforcement bylaw, and it's to do generally about the officers' actions and position and what they can do and what their parameters are. Is that correct, Melissa?
yes, that's correct. And this is part of our map review. It must be in place. It's mandatory.
Yeah, I thought that I thought that read fine to me.
Yeah. So, did we have first reading on that one as well,
We
Melissa?
had first and second on that, I think, right?
Yeah, you've done first and second on the 18th of October, so we're looking for third and final reading.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion that we do third and final reading of the bylaw enforcement officer, or the bylaw enforcement officer bylaw 199-23.
I know, it's wordy.
To the bylaw, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, moved by Councilor Huff to approve the third and final reading of the bylaw enforcement officer bylaw 199-23.
I'm in favor, yeah.
I'm in favor.
Okay, so we got, the next one would be the procedural bylaw. Was that part of the map, Drew?
well, you're supposed to review this every couple of years anyway. It hasn't been done for a while. Since 2019, so you guys did a resolution that you wanted me to review the existing procedure bylaw and make recommendations to tighten up the bylaw. So I went through it. After further review, I have made the following changes, if you guys are in agreement. Section 3 definitions is redone. Section 5 agenda is redone. Section 6 added in organizational, so it's laid out now, so nobody will miss that you must have an organizational meeting by the end of August. Section 7 committees, we didn't really have committees, and you're supposed to, according to the Municipal Government Act and our MADI courses, because committees, if you do a committee, it must be within a bylaw. So
Right.
I've laid out committees.
Okay.
Section 8 meetings of council is all redone. Section 9, because you can do electronic, you're supposed to have it in your procedural bylaws, so I now have a whole section of electronic communications. Section 10 is redone, order of the business meetings, and all other sections consistent with limited changes. So this now is very much more in depth than what you had, and it covers off how electronic applications work. I really wanted to get that caught up because we are doing more and more of that.
Right. Okay, I had just a few questions and comments, Melissa, not anything too big.
Yep.
And especially that one on the 31st of August, that's fairly important. I know we missed it a couple times, but
Oh,
it's
okay,
no
sure.
big deal. And I'm glad that's in there. The committee page 512.
Committee section 7.
Yeah, section
Okay.
7 M.
And
Yeah,
okay.
it's an important thing too, is that if there's a committee and there's a council member on the committee, and if let's say the mayor or another councillor went to that meeting, then the person that's appointed to that committee off of council is the one that does all the input and the voting. And that's really important as well, because prior they had a rule that the mayor was ex officio of all committees and boards and everything else. And sometimes it was very difficult for a councillor that was on the board and then have the mayor come there and perhaps throw some interference in there. So that's an important thing too. And I just wanted to explain that to you, Bob.
Okay, yeah.
And
And
I
then,
think I tried to cover that in M, did I not? Is it clear in there or is it not
yeah,
quite as clear?
no, I'm just saying it's a good thing. And I just had a few the other one that's fairly important, Bob, is on a committee, And of course, no one ever do it intentionally or anything else, but if you're on a committee or someone goes to, let's say, the Hall Society, you can't really speak on behalf of council. You can take things back to council.
Right,
And,
yes.
you know, that's kind of an important thing.
Yeah.
On page, on section 9,
Yep,
D2, and it's to do with a member who's unable to attend for medical reasons for themselves or an immediate family member. So that's important as well, because there's certain timelines that that can go on, and then after that, the counselor would, if they're not able to attend, then they have to resign from council. So it's just information
Yeah,
there. On page 7 of 12, D, section 10, D. So a member who has pecuniary interest before council, it says in the MGA that the councillor must disclose. It's a little bit, the recourse, correct me if I'm wrong, Melissa, but the recourse of someone, let's say on a council, that doesn't say that they have a pecuniary interest, can it be brought from council? Or is that up to the councillor's discretion?
it's really up to that counselor to divulge their pecuniary interest, and it could become a legal challenge if somebody wanted to take that to the Municipal Government Act or to the Municipal Affairs, or they could take it to court. It would
Okay.
set you up for a legal challenge and a lawsuit if somebody did not divulge.
Okay. Okay, and then on page 8, section 12E,
12E, yeah.
the members of the public during a council meeting. Now, this is fairly important too, and I know I've been saying it, and I'll try and say it at every meeting where there's public that are in attendance. They can't address council without permission, and they have to maintain order, and they can't otherwise interrupt any speech or action of members or any other person addressing council.
yeah, I
So
agree with
that's a very important part, because there has been council within the province of Alberta that have really run into some problems over that. So I think we have to be, you know, fairly strict on it. And I think most of the public understands. I mean, it's just, it can get away on you if you don't look after it.
I agree. I mean, I think, you know, by and large, people mean well. And, but yeah, we do have to keep that rule.
Yeah, keep it under check. So on page
And
9,
that also goes with F. So if you run into this situation where they're not complying with those things, then F allows the mayor may at any meeting expel and exclude any person who creates any disturbance or acts improperly.
yeah, and I've actually in the past exercised some of that. And what you would be able to do then, basically, Bob, we would be able to just, if the person refused and was, you know, just raising a ruckus, you could adjourn the meeting, and if they wouldn't leave, you just adjourn the meeting and
Yeah,
close it.
Yeah, and I think that's set out well in this, as far as how people can apply to have delegations and stuff.
Right. Yeah, and then and there's certainly rules that are going to be looked after and explained to the delegation. So we have to make sure. So on page 9 of 12 on voting on motions, it's just a little bit of a thing that is maybe to not everybody's knowledge, is that if there's a tie on a motion,
Mhm.
a tie vote, it's defeated.
Yes, fair enough.
Yes.
Just
And,
about,
and that's fair, because then the third person will be back at the next meeting, and then you can revisit that.
right. Okay, on page 11, F at the top there.
Page 11F, yeah, section 21.
Yeah. So it's just for information too, is something that should be looked at as far as how the operation of the council goes, and we're certainly doing that, but it's something that's should be in your mind all the time.
Sure.
And then if someone comes as so section 22, so if someone comes to council as a delegation, there's some clear rules there that will have to be looked after. So for example, number 4 there, the not to exceed 5 pages. Like, you don't want someone coming to a meeting with a Bible, because it's, even if it's on the agenda, like, it's very difficult. And some people just bring the information to the meeting and not before. So it's important that if there's something very large and it's not going to be able to be mulled over, then it'll just have to be postponed to the next meeting.
Yeah,
And
fair enough.
take it as information, right?
Yes.
And then also,
That's what I was trying to get across here, is to kind of, because we have run into some of these issues, so I thought, how do we make this nice and clear? So it's easier for you guys to have the information, it's not overwhelming, and it allows you time to assess it like we do with any other council package information.
yeah, and it's the same as in section 6 there. It says it's 5 days before the meeting, otherwise it has to be pushed to the next meeting.
Fair enough.
So we have time. And then the last thing I had, page 12, no, at the very top, C.
Yeah,
So no more than 10 minutes from a delegation.
Yeah, unless granted an extension, yes.
Yeah, so that makes sense too. So,
and then also delegations consisting of more than one person, only one person will be the spokesperson. It won't
right.
be a whole bunch.
yeah. So other than, like, there's no really any changes. It's just some of the, I just wanted to bring them points up.
Can you, Melissa, can you explain section 23, this severability, to me? That I just didn't quite understand that.
Should any section or part of this bylaw be found to have been properly enacted, then such section or part shall be regarded as being severable from the rest of this bylaw, and the bylaw remaining after such severance shall be effective and enforceable. So if there's a section that you decide it doesn't work, you can sever it. But the rest of the bylaw stands.
So should it be? So any section that's, like, what do you mean properly enacted? Like, should it not be improperly enacted?
Well, if I properly proceeded with this, but you guys decide that you're not happy with that section, you can now sever it. It's actually been in when I reviewed all of the bylaws regarding procedure, they had this section in there. So it does help, so you can sever a section if you decide that one part of this doesn't work for you, like say. Section 22(4), not exceed 5 pages, you could sever that part. And it wouldn't affect the rest of the bylaw.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay. That's
Does
fine.
that
I
make
just,
sense now?
yeah, it does now. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I guess we need a motion on this one.
First reading?
It looks really good, Melissa.
Yeah, I liked it.
I
So-
tried to get really in depth in it to cover off everything that we have been doing.
Spent a lot of time on this.
And
So we-
research.
So should we do first reading today on this and then? Like. We haven't done it first reading on this one yet, have we?
Correct. So if you want, you could do first and second now. And then wait till your next meeting and do your third and final, and then it comes into play for January 2024.
Yeah, I would like to do that because I would like to have, this is an important enough bylaw that I'd like to make sure that Ed's involved in voting on this one too.
Yeah, I 100% agree, Bob.
So I would make the motion that we do first reading of procedural bylaw number 200-23.
Okay, yep.
So moved by Councillor Huck to approve first reading of procedural bylaw 200-23.
Yeah, and you can wait for the next ones if you want until the next meeting. We'll just bring it back and you can do second and third if you want, or you can do second. It's really up to you guys how you want to proceed.
Let's do second and third next time here.
Yeah, just the same, I think so.
Doesn't make any difference, really.
Okay. Thank you.
And I agree on that. I approve that vote. Lauren, you vote yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we go to financials. Melissa, do you want to take us through? I think we've all looked at it. I guess I could ask, is there any questions?
Yeah.
I guess one question I have, we bought all those computers through Longhurst and stuff, the new computers for the new office. Were we able to put that through on grant money?
We are going to use the MSI operating to cover off what we can for computer stuff.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Because that's for operations and this is for operations.
okay. No, that's good because it was a substantial amount of money, so I wanted to make sure.
Yes. We're still looking good though. We haven't hit
Yeah,
the
we
end
are.
of the year yet.
Yeah, now, so the one question I had too in the financials, so we've got, so we have 990,000 in sort of bank money, and then we have 600 in the GICs. Now, I guess, how much of that is grant money? Do you know for sure?
Oh. A fair amount is grant money.
Yeah, which we're going to use here fairly quickly, right? With the new office, right?
Yes, when you get to that, you'll see, and there's,
Yeah.
I've also got that in there. But yeah, I would say at least 85% of the money is grants.
Is grant money sitting there? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
but I can give you a better breakdown at the next meeting because we're gonna have to start looking at that for when I do my response for MSI and when we do the office. How
Yeah,
we're
and-
going to allocate.
And for next year's budget, we'll have, yeah, if we could just break that all out exactly for next year's budget or whatever, I'd like that just all broken out exactly.
Yeah, I can do that.
Sure, thank you. Now, the balance of the money, the main part of the money there, do it, we've got some of it in GICs. The other money, is that a high interest savings account, or what is it what are we getting as far as the savings account there and stuff? Because with today's
Pretty
interest
much.
rates, we should be trying to maximize our revenues on you know, from the bank, right? There's no use them using our money
Yes.
and making a bunch of money off us, you know?
Yeah, and actually, we were just talking with the bank, Lori and I have to finish a conversation with them, and we're putting more money into GICs and high interest earning.
Yeah, as much, I'd like as much as possible into high interest earning as possible, you know? Yeah.
We were looking at that too, so we've already started the conversation because you did have a resolution back that hasn't been completed, so we were working on that.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's just,
Yeah, and Bob, there is like the municipal government has rules on how much volatility you can use, where you can invest it, and how you have to invest it. It's a conservative. It has to be fairly conservative, and
yeah,
the bank is well. It's Melissa knows the rules.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it just, no, I know, I mean, but if it's a interest bearing thing, like it's not a stock, right? So there's no risk in this stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah.
We wanna earn money because we don't wanna lose money.
Well, when you got that kind of money and you're getting 4% on it, I mean, that kind of money turns into tens of thousands of dollars a year, which is,
Yeah,
we can use.
yeah, you bet.
Yeah. I just had a comment on the check run. Just for your information, Bob, for the tennis court, Tomco. They have the bill we got from them was actually around $6,000 or $7,000 less than the quote.
Oh, good.
Under budget. That's accepted under budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, that, I think that's good. And I mean, we'd had that money in the works for a couple of years now,
Right.
right?
And actually the total there, it took care of the purchase of the tennis or the basketball stands and
Right,
Group.
good, yeah, yeah. Good,
That's what I
Okay.
like about, I know we get estimates and everybody looks at when it comes in quite high, but usually the reason there's always that extra contingency when you get a quote. But it
Right.
usually ends up, by the time you do the projects or you complete something, most times it will come under budget unless there is changes.
Right.
good.
Okay, so can we move them all the reports?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
One motion? Okay.
So I will move to approve the financial report as presented to us.
Yeah. All in favor? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8, council reports. Robert, did you have anything?
No, I don't. No, I haven't been
Okay.
around for 3 weeks. I haven't been around for a month. So I'm out of
Okay.
touch.
Okay, I actually, you guys would probably be glad because I forgot my list at home, but anyway. I do have a few things. So we have to be mindful of next year's budget and make sure that we are really starting to think about what we're planning. For example, let's say, do we want a fuel shed? Do we want to make sure that some of our projects on our plans, like for example, the Front Street widening is going to get looked after, and is it already on the budget? That kind of deal. I think I was going to ask about and I did mark that down about the pickleball court in the land use bylaw. If there would be any of them on private property. So I think that's something that we should go towards maybe. And the other part is on accessory buildings on lots. So right now, if it's an attached garage to a cabin or a house, there's only, the rule in the land use bylaw is 12%. So what we end up with, there's one that had been approved, and Leanne has to approve it because it's in the land use bylaw. So we've got a 850 square foot living quarters, and the garage that's attached to it is 3,000 square feet. So I think that should be looked at. It is okay if it's a smaller lot, one of the small lots like where I'm at, but if you go into larger lots, it's very confusing. As far as I've had some feedback on that one that was approved. So I think that's another thing in the land use bylaw that we may have to revisit, whether it would be a what it was before was the maximum size, and whatever the maximum size of a attached accessory building should be the same as, in my opinion, the maximum size of a standalone shop or whatever, which in the old land use bylaw was around 1,100 square feet, somewhere in there.
So are you saying that you guys want to review in your 2024 budget process, you want to budget for a re-review of the land use bylaw?
Not a whole review of the land use bylaw, but maybe a couple sections like that 12%. And also, you know, whatever small things are there, not a whole review, Melissa.
Okay, so why don't I leave that on my budget deliberation stuff to look into? I'll talk with Leanne and see what is required, and then we'll go from there. How is that? Because it will
Yeah.
have a budgetary influence.
Yeah, and we've done it
We
before,
review
like,
just sections of it, Lauren. I thought if we opened it up, we had to look at the whole thing.
no,
Correct. Well, you will have to do all the public hearing stuff again, so even if you
Right.
amend
That's-
sections,
is that
you'll
not
still
the-
have to
yeah,
do all that.
That's what I,
you don't, you can pick a section or add a section. You don't have to do the whole thing. You don't, even if you open up the land use bylaw and it has to go through public consultation, you can just do one sentence in the land use bylaw, and that's all you're going to talk about.
Let me do a review on this and I'll get back to you guys on that. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, and we've done that quite a few times in the past.
Yeah, but with the new MGA requirements and the way they've got it for consultation must be done. So I've got to review that.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and I was going to ask you about the piano. Anything?
That's in my report. Can we talk about it?
Oh, well, let me finish mine then. I'll cross that off if that's. How about, are the trees in your report?
No.
McDougal, has he been out?
Yes, he came out for a bit, but he hasn't come back to complete it. So I'm kind of threatening that he's not going to get paid until it's all done.
Okay.
good plan.
Okay, that's all I got. So then do you want to just give us a short overview of your report, Melissa?
Yeah.
I mean,
So Yeah, the big ones, so we went to the ASBA conference, October 23rd, we met with Aptus to discuss the stormwater management plan and map out the areas to be surveyed, which are, they were done last week. I think we
Did they-
advertised they were gonna be out,
That was like last Thursday or something.
yeah, last Thursday, they were gonna be out this week.
Did
So
they,
we notified everybody. Yeah,
sorry, Melissa, for interrupting, but did they do the boreholes?
that's coming on the 22nd.
Okay, so.
They're
I
doing the
don't
soil testing for the site. They just notified me on that. That's happening on the 22nd. So they're just getting all the private first calls and everything done, and then they're gonna do the soil borehole testing just to see what's the best options for the site.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and then the Maynard subdivision, we've sent off the CC signed off. So, and I've advised Public Works, we do the snow removal in Buffalo Ranch Estates. Attached, we have a report on the municipal affairs training sessions that Erin went to, so she's provided a report. And then we have multiple more sessions we're attending. And there's quite a bit, so definitely we're gonna be learning a lot more about recall legislation, electronic meetings, tax recovery. Accessible communications, municipal revenue streams, bylaws and bylaw enforcement, so we're well into all that stuff. Conflict styles, viability warning lights, and the MIRS and the tax rate bylaw, so good timing to have these courses. Candidate grant, working with the Hall Society to get an application in prior to the November 21st deadline. And so that I'll be working on later on today. Look forward to getting the grant for them. The Hall Society is requesting moving the piano into the Public Works shop. I'm working with them on this regard. I don't see an issue with a temporary move into the old shop. But I think I don't think we need to be involved in the disposal of the piano if that is what they want. I don't know what council feels.
I looked into, oh, sorry, Bob.
Well, I guess. No, I'm not very musical and stuff, but every time you move a piano, do you not need to retune it?
Well, it's not tuned in.
Like, is it gonna screw up the piano to be moving it and stuff?
Basically, it would have to be retuned, but is it worth doing it? That's the problem. I went on.
Well, that's what I'm sort of wondering is like, I think we have to make like, if we're gonna just move it and sell it or whatever. But if we want to keep it and you're moving it all the time, I don't want to be paying for retuning it and stuff, you know?
Well,
Unless the Hall Society wants to pay.
with a piano, I have a feeling if it got moved into the old shop, it'll be there, period. And also,
Yeah.
humidity does affect it somewhat, but it isn't in tune. Like, I was in there playing around with it and it's out of tune. And I went onto the internet and saw what was, if there was anybody that would salvage them. And there certainly isn't in our area in Alberta that I could find. And it's a damn shame to say it, but I think it's probably good for a boat anchor is all. I mean, it's a piece of artwork, but it also, if it isn't being used, and it's a big problem with used pianos, like people they just go to the dump.
They're not, people are.
So is council in favor of administration providing that we approve the temporary move to the Public Works shop till after the Christmas, and then the Hall Society is responsible for disposal or decisions on removing it back out? and getting it rid of if they decide to, if council doesn't want to be involved in it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like I say, if it's out of tune already, yeah, I was just thinking, my thought was if it was in tune and then we moved it, and then we had to pay to retune it. That would have been a waste, but if it's out of tune anyhow, so I'm not opposed to it being moved if it's out of tune anyhow.
Yeah, and I don't know, Bob, like that age of that piano, like the keys on it are ivory, and the blacks are probably ebony, and I don't know whether there was any salvageable pieces or parts, or like I just don't. It's just something that is.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. Like I'm not musical at all, right? So
Mhm. I think that's a good idea, is to move it into the shop, and then, but we got to be on top of it. I don't think it can stay there, because obviously it'll just, I don't know.
Okay, then I would be looking for a motion of council to approve temporary relocation of the piano by the Hall Society, but request the Hall Society determine future disposal and removal of it after 3 months.
well, maybe
Yeah.
not disposal, say future plans for the piano.
Future plans and removal, because we don't want to deal with it. right?
Maybe, Aaron, we could put it on What's Up White Sands, What's Up Ocean Sands kind of deal, just to give away and see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
I truly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this.
I need to determine next steps. How's that?
It's like an elephant. I don't know what you do.
Yeah, it seems like a waste to just get rid of it, but
Temporary.
then again, if it's not usable, it's not usable, right?
For 3 months. For 3 months. To the old public workshop. By the Hall Society, that's correct, but request the Hall Society to create, to have a future plan, to have future plans. To decide future plans of the piano. Just not even renewable, just future
To
plans.
advise us on their future plans of long-term plans for the piano.
Future. Okay, moved by council to direct administration to approve temporary relocation of the piano for a 3-month period. Okay, so this is what we've got. Moved by council to direct administration to approve temporary relocation of the piano for a 3-month period to the old public workshop by the Hall Society. But request the Hall Society to decide future long-term plans for the piano.
Yeah,
That way it gets back to them to decide what they want to do.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you.
perfect, that's on my way. Still working on the outstanding map stuff. We'll move on to that. Canada Summer Jobs application, okay. So the process opens up November 20th, and I wanna get going on it. We will be applying again, so I'm thinking we're gonna do 3 summer students, as was done last year. The municipality will be hiring 2 as public work maintenance, 1 will be a shared position for public works and office. Budget wage cost will be approximately 30,000, and then Canada Job Grant reimbursement will be approximately 6,300 to 6,500. Are you guys okay with me continuing on that way?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Is that a motion too?
perfect. No, I'm good. I just needed
Okay.
direction to make
Okay.
sure they're good with it, because it's all part of budget.
Okay.
Administration has upcoming meetings and courses, so I listed those. We got the Maddie courses coming up. Then I've got, two new things. County of Stettler and Town of Stettler did meet and ratify a fire agreement. So it's just going through county council today and town council on the 21st. So they've come to a fire agreement. And I've opened a conversation with the county to start discussing how best to approach 40-4 and see if there is a way we could work together with snow plowing and dust control to see if we can't get some better cost savings, especially with dust control.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm working on, and the upcoming meeting reminders for you guys was, well, one's gone, November 14th was the SMRWSC. November 17th is the SWMA, and November 24th is your Regional Emergency Management Agency meeting at 10 a.m. either in person or through Teams. So I hope you all got that. If not, let me know and I'll get it out to you guys.
So what's the one on the 17th? What?
It's the SWMA, Stettler Waste Management Authority, am I right? Or,
Yeah, I'm supposed to go to that one. I haven't received anything yet from them on that. Like, I haven't received an agenda or anything like that yet.
Somebody just gave an email. Hold on.
something just came.
Oh, no, that's Shirley. Sorry, that's what Shirley McCollum. Never mind.
Okay,
This is the Waste Management's Friday, and I haven't received an agenda for that one yet. And I'd like to, I just was waiting for the agenda, and then I'm gonna ask them to zoom me into that one.
okay, I will get a hold of them and figure out what's going on so that you can be
Yeah,
well prepared for
Like
that meeting.
Michelle Hoover, I think, right? She'll do the for the
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, we're just checking. Maybe
No,
we'll-
I don't see anything.
We're gonna send her an email and double check where it is.
Yeah, because all I see from Michelle is just Shirley McCollum.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
If
haven't
you could get
seen
them
anything
to send me an agenda and to send me a link to a zoom into that one.
Yeah, we'll send her an email right away here.
Thank you.
Okay. And then attached with my report, you'll see we've started to do what is called an action list.
Yeah.
So the first page is the stuff that I haven't got done yet out of the meetings we've started. And the other page is what I get completed. So each one of your resolutions now will be going into this action list and it'll show you where we're at.
I think that's a great idea.
So
Hey,
you
did
can track how I'm doing.
Did you have any information from the county on that lagoon? Red Willow Lagoon? I thought they were gonna have a meeting in December sometime, but
I haven't heard anything yet, but I did have a conversation with Andrew this morning and we were planning to have further conversations after his council meeting today.
okay.
So I will find out what's going on and yeah, we'll keep moving forward. I'd like to start getting more and more talk and conversations with the county and see if we can't get on a good page and get working on some of this stuff.
Okay, we had a water meeting last night, and so some of the budget items are being set, and so it'll give you the cost of the water. You know, it doesn't really affect the village anymore because the administration is all looked after the people that have municipal systems. So they
Yeah.
divide the administration. So our cost is just going to be the debentures. And that line, yeah, that line from that's going to go up from Donalda to Roseland and Balf, they're going to do that with and just use the truck fill like we have and not hook it up to the municipal yet. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing. Just for your information.
Lauren, once they do that, are we able to pay off our portion? Because what they
You
make
can-
changes,
You can only pay off at certain times.
That's right.
And this one, like we owe them, I think, Melissa, if I'm not mistaken, I think we owe around 65,000.
Yeah,
But with this new piece coming on, so it's 90-10. So our allotment isn't set yet, but it'll be quite, you know, it's divided in between usage and the 14 municipalities that are involved. So if they refinance through Alberta Capital Finance, then that's the time when you can pay off your debenture. And that's what we've done before on two or three phases.
yes.
The only one-
Debentures are no different than when, like a mortgage. So you know how
Yeah.
if you turn around and you get a mortgage and your term is 5 years and you decide you want to pay it off and you try to do it early, you get penalized.
right,
Same thing with the
Right.
debenture.
fair enough.
But when they reapply for more money, then that's when you can do it.
Correct. Re-signing.
Yeah. So I guess what I should do is get a hold of the commission and see the exact rules on that, or did you want to do that, Melissa?
I can do that. In my
Okay.
conversation with Andrew, I'll get a hold of him and have chats about that.
Yeah, he'll know. And Krista Cornelson is the one that has the figures, and also Andrew would have the timing on it and how much it would be as well, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. I'll have a chat with him and we'll look at that during the budget process for discussion.
Okay.
Okay, and
Alright.
then to give you the action list, then after that, we wanted you to have an update on the municipal affairs courses. So Erin did a wonderful little report for you.
Yeah, I had some
Really?
questions, Erin.
Oh, boy, okay.
So just
Go
on
for
section 12 of the MGA on the voter eligibility on the first page there, about halfway through. It
Section
says
12.
So that's, okay, so there's a specific spot for summer villages for by-elections and elections, which is section 12 of MGA. So of course, with all elections, you have to be over 18. But because we're summer village, because they're saying all they need is all this other stuff, but it doesn't work. You actually have to be on title or the spouse of a person who is on title, because sometimes both names aren't on title, but you can vote. Also, if you're a renter, so if you're not like an Airbnb renter, but if someone's physically renting a place out at White Sands, they are eligible to vote as well.
okay, on that point there, I was just gonna ask you, did they say anything on eligibility of a renter? I believe in past times it was they had to be renting for at least 6 months, or there was a time that they had to rent.
Yeah, that's been, you have to be within a municipality to be able to vote or run or whatever. You have to have been there for at least 6 months.
Okay, because they didn't go in that much detail, they did a brief thing about summer villages that were slightly different than like Town of Statler or Edmonton or whatever, that we have certain different voter eligibility. So they just said renters can vote, but they didn't say a specific time, so
It's-
you'd be in your section
It's for
12.
running in an election. You can be a renter and you can run in
Right.
an election, but you must have been presiding in that municipality for 6 months.
Right.
The big thing in that whole by-election and election part 2 was the contribution disclosure statement that you no matter, well, Bob, this was in the by-election. So all the people who are there, if you had received money, you, like, the person who was running is responsible. Regardless of the results, to hand that in, even if it was at zero,
Yes,
or it's a $500 fine.
it's mandatory now.
Okay,
Must be
Okay.
completed and handed in within 1 year of an election, am I correct?
Yes. And if that doesn't happen, you can get that fine, it's made public, and you're ineligible to not be nominated for 3 or 8 years. I don't know what the difference is, and then there's a special form, which is Form 26 for it. So that was, they stressed on that a whole lot, on that one. Any other questions?
yeah, on the next page,
Okay,
the second bullet, oh, sorry, Bob.
No. No, it wasn't. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It says must have a policy on expenditures that are not included in the,
that is
Right.
correct. So if you did not put it in your budget, you should have a policy for that. And then if you do have. If council makes, well, if council promises that, or
Authorize an
Authorize.
expenditure that's not on the budget.
that puts a counselor or counselors at risk. I have seen this in a previous council. Where it went back from the counselor and they had to pay for a shower shop, so. I've seen that, so if it's not in your budget, don't make promises. And if you decide, it has to be a motion too, it has to be a policy, then it has to be a motion.
Which we do have a policy laying out how expenditures in case of certain things that happen for administration and the range that we're allowed to make decisions if we feel it's expedient. We have a budget range that we can do for those, what we call emergent issues, I call it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no, if it has not been approved in a budget, then it must have a resolution of council prior to any approval.
Another thing that's very interesting, which we gotta talk to municipal affairs about. When you have certain lines, like we have in our own taxes, we have senior housing. And there's a different one. Oh, we had the road use agreement we put on this year. Senior housing is all allowed, but there's only certain things you can have as either as a line. On our tax notices. We have to double check on the road use agreement line that we stuck on this year if it's compliant to the MGA.
Because I've noticed there are other municipalities who are doing the policing,
It's a no.
it's a no. So they're not really wanting you to do separate line extra items unless it's fits within their guidelines.
so then with the policing one. That, is there a way of still collecting across the board? Without having line?
Oh, you just mix it in with your budget as part of your general budget and your tax rate.
So
So
then
it
it would
becomes,
be assessed value.
yes, that's how it's done. But there are some municipalities who have done like we did with the road use agreement that we separated it out. We have to double check and make sure that we are in compliance prior to the next tax rate bylaw to make sure that that is allowed. Otherwise, it cannot, it must be incorporated within the whole tax rate bylaw based on assessments.
Well, you know what, then, we would probably get that information. And if there's something there that's amiss, then we can also look at a special tax that we used to have before that was separate.
And that's what we want to investigate further through these Maddie courses so that we can make sure we get very compliant with what the regulations are on how does a special tax work? How can we do a line item tax? So we have to get this figured out clearly so that we stay compliant.
Right, yeah, and that, there is a section in the MGA on special tax and it tells you exactly what you can use, and I just don't know it right off by heart, but, okay.
Yeah.
The
Next,
last, the last, the last
Lots of
thing I
learning here.
is just a comment, and that was at the bottom of page 50 there. Must need a bylaw for creating a committee, task force, etc. And
Yes.
policy that it, and it's very important that everybody's treated the same on these things, you know, and that's something
to section 145 of the NPA.
yeah, we'll have to really be looking after that. Which
Yeah, you have to be
mainly-
careful how council makes committees. It needs to
Yeah.
follow through.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I got for questions there.
Okay, Bob?
Nope, no, I was good. I was good.
Okay.
It was good information.
We're over educating you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
so we'll move on to business.
You're gonna make an motion to accept council CEO and Aaron's report as presented.
Yep,
Who wants to do that?
I'll do that.
Okay.
And I'll agree.
Okay,
Okay.
So item 9.1, so does that go into municipal planning commission, Melissa?
well, no. Does council have to approve this? You guys are the approval of subdivision authority.
We don't have to do an MPC meeting?
No, municipal planning commission is for approval of development permits that are discretionary. This isn't a development permit, this is a subdivision application, just like if we brought you Buffalo Ranch. We brought you Cornelson's, that was a subdivision application.
So should this be looked at without Ed?
This is your guys' call. If you wish to table this to the next meeting, then, what's the timeline here? Just wait, we started on the 29th. So the application came in on. I have to make sure we stay within the deadline here. September 7th. Was the date of the application? We did all the notifications on the 29th. It's your guys' call if you wish to table and schedule a special meeting to review this. But I wouldn't table it too much longer. Can't go to the next council meeting.
Okay,
So, I mean, ultimately, Leanne reviewed it and it all. It's all within the rules, right?
well, actually, I have a question on that.
Yeah,
And-
well, that's what yeah, okay.
It's not within the land use bylaw as far as maximum size of lots,
Oh, okay,
because the lots that would, the 3 lots that would get the extra property would put them over the 1,840 square meters, I believe, and that is against our bylaw. Land
Okay.
use bylaw. I don't know whether that was an oversight or, but I just, I just got it.
well, that's what, yeah, okay.
Okay, so my recommendation for before you have any further conversation on this would be to, if you need more time and you want some more information, table to a special meeting and schedule it.
Okay,
And
And then I'll get Leanne.
and get Leanne involved so that we can get answers to these questions.
And
Yeah.
request Leanne or Angela to be present at the special meeting.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
So let's look at, can you pull up the dates? Because we don't wanna take it too much longer, so we're gonna wanna do it by next week.
Monday or Tuesday?
21st is the best.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay with the 21st?
I'll-
Nope,
I'll
we
be-
can't. Nope, wait, 21st is Town of Stettler. Can't do that.
I'm not, 21st, I'm busy.
23rd,
Just let me get my calendar. Oh,
because I'm thinking 21st is Town of Settlers, we would not be able to get them to be here, but the 23rd, a Thursday, we're only dealing with the one item.
Yeah, I'm busy till noon that day.
You're busy till noon, what about afternoon?
I'm free all afternoon.
I think 23rd would be better. Yeah, 23rd afternoon. And that allows, if we go too early, they're too busy with their stuff too.
Yeah.
Special meeting, November 23rd. And if we went for an afternoon of
Like at 2 or?
2:00, 2:30?
I'm good with anything afternoon. After 11:30, pretty much, I'm good.
Oh, you do like 1 o'clock then.
Well, I wanna buy them some time,
Yeah.
so. I would like 2:00, because we're just dealing with the one item, and it allows enough time to have the discussion. But let's make sure it's gonna work.
Okay, on the Thursday, the 23rd.
2 PM sound good?
Yep.
That allows you guys about an hour to 2 hours to have a discussion. And it still keeps us within a time frame.
Yeah. 2 special meeting in November, there 2 PM, requesting the development officer to attend the meeting.
So motion to table 9.1, subdivision application 2023-150 lot 85 subdivision application.
To a special meeting on November 23rd, 2023 at 2 PM. And request the development officer to attend the meeting.
Close to a special meeting scheduled.
Schedule. Special meeting. Schedule.
For request the development officer to be in attendance. Typical decision. That's not decision, to table the item. Let's get rid of that, to table the subdivision application
Yeah, so.
2023 150 lot 85. Get rid of that to a special meeting, get rid of that whole section there, so it makes it nice and neat.
No,
This, because we have duplicated now,
sorry, I'm getting glitter.
subdivision applications
Oh.
duplicated now.
Okay,
To, special meeting schedule. 2 PM for all of council present to deal. Council to be present. And request the development officer to be in attendance to deal with this item. Okay,
so moved by Counselor Mayor to table the subdivision application number 2023-150, lot 85, to a special meeting scheduled for November 23rd, 2023 at 2 p.m. for all council to be present, and request the development officer to be in attendance to deal with this item.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Yeah,
Okay,
all in favor, yes?
I'm in
Yes.
favor.
Okay, perfect. That way all of council will be present when you make a decision.
Okay. What other one did we table?
You only tabled the subdivision application.
you did first reading of the procedural.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is the first item you've tabled to a special meeting.
Okay, so amended human resource policy 9.2. Was this part of the map deal as well, Melissa?
Well, and I'm reviewing policies, that's part of what we're supposed to do, and I realized we had some legal challenge questions on our policy. So we re-changed this to blend it more into alignment with being more competitive, also where we're at, and kind of just getting better with the legislation and allowing some. Because to attract people, you have to have a good human resource policy. And you also have to have good ways of being able to discipline, and how are you gonna discipline?
Can we, I was sort of wondering, like, the changes, without comparing them side to side. Is there a marked up copy of the changes?
No, we didn't make a marked up copy, but did we attach the old one?
No, I did not. I just noticed that.
Okay, so we can table this if you wish.
It might be, let me just go check. Let me just go check. It might be on
The other one had concerns for me because if you lost your driver's license, it was more tabled for public works and not everybody else. Which had a big concern for me. One of the things is if somebody loses their driver's license, you can't fire them because they don't have a driver's license. That's illegal. We could be sued for that. That's a liability. So, yeah, there were just certain things. So what I tried to do was bring this to cover not just more special to public works, but to cover all of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I thought it looked good. It's just I didn't have a copy when I was reading it of the old one to see exactly what the changes were.
Yeah, the old one, can you just pull it up? Give me a second, I'll summarize it here really quick.
Yeah, summarize what the changes were.
Cause some of it was like even, you were talking about like hours. That was.
Yeah, no, just pull it up, because when I see the old one there,
Where is it?
it was a V11. Yeah, you'll see the old one, because I didn't get rid of it.
Okay, it's not what I think. Yeah.
So the one that was there was from 2020, and it kind of established policies, procedures, and conditions. The permanent full-time employee has been hired for an ongoing, it kind of laid out that stuff. It didn't quite fit with how we are operating now. It moved down. And it dealt with hiring responsibility was still the same, CAO, White Sands Council, all other staff, CAO unless delegated. We actually, that's still there. New employees are to be carefully selected with respect to skills, attitude, education, experience, ability. All job applications. If a vacancy occurs, like it doesn't our policy didn't really cover off whether if it was somebody that was a relative or something. I don't have a problem with hiring those type of people because we're a small community. It's just they have to go through the proper process.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any of that stuff. We didn't really outline a lot on probationary period. I kind of cleaned it up and made it more clear. Discipline, I added more to orientation on what we would do. Discipline is a lot more concrete. And annual review, all permanent full-time employees are entitled to an annual review. I think I've got that even more in depth.
So would it be possible to table this and to provide it like a marked up copy of what the changes were?
You bet. I would prefer you table and I'll send you a copy and you can have a review and we'll even attach it to the next meeting. So you've got a
Yeah.
copy of the old to the new. Okay.
Yeah, just, I didn't really, I just didn't know didn't really know what the changes were here. Yeah.
Yeah, just motion to table to the next regular council meeting.
Are you okay with that, Lauren?
Yes,
So I'd motion to table this and provide us with a copy of what the changes were to the policy.
Yep.
right.
This is going to the next regular council meeting. We're good.
Okay. 9.3, repeal subdivision development appeal board policy 5.
You guys vote on that
The
resolution.
moved by counselor have to table and provide the changes to the amended policy 6, employee hiring and employee processes to the next regular. Next
Yeah.
regular meeting.
I agree with that.
Yeah, all in favor, yes.
Policy side,
Oh, it's 7. So
but it's carried.
Great.
Okay, 9.3 is just reviewing the policies. We don't have anything written in our policies that if a bylaw comes into play, it supersedes because a bylaw does supersede a policy. We have a bylaw for subdivision development appeal board, so this policy is really null and void. So I just wanted to repeal it and then I can work on other policies.
Okay. You're okay with that, Bob?
Yes, I'll make that motion to repeal this.
Okay.
All in favor, yeah.
And I agree.
I call this housework.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is all going to the new board, right?
Yep, so we have a bylaw in place, fully covers all this stuff off, so we'll just get rid of this.
Okay. Thank you. 9.4 RTM municipal office design and quotes. So we have to get this done, and there's 2 quotes. The first one that we were working with was Nelson Homes, and the second one is Western Canadian. And the one that Western Canadian sent us actually goes against their land use bylaw because it's not wide enough. So it's supposed to be 24 feet wide to
Yeah.
the center, the outside walls, and it's not. The one from
Yeah.
Nelson Homes.
Nelson Homes. That's in there, been a slight adjustment because we get where the reception area is. It's now not a U shape, it's an L shape. Right there. Otherwise, Nelson Homes, this is their preliminary office plan, and we've got with the new style doors, which open up to take up the reception area. The cost estimate, but we don't have any final things quite yet, it's an estimate. They're going with 293,000.
Sorry, could you, how much was that again? Sorry?
293,000 Nelson Homes. A lot of it has to do with the amount of electrical and data stuff that we have to have built into it, because it is a municipal office setup. It's not a home, so we need to have it a little more complicated in the electrical and data stuff. We also upgraded and decided we did not want a hot water tank. We want a tankless water heater because of not using it as heavily as a house. It does not make sense to burn more energy continually heating a hot water tank when the amount of hot water we really need will not be much at all. So a tankless water heater would work much more efficiently.
The only thing with the tankless, Melissa, is that you use more water. And then you also have to empty out more sewer. Because it takes a while.
Okay,
We don't use a lot of hot water.
yeah, we don't use a lot of hot water unless we are filling a sink to do dishes.
Okay, it's just, it's just, I'm throwing that out there because it's a fact. Where you may be able to get away with a small water heater, like 20
I
gallons or
was
something.
looking at the cost of the natural gas to continually keep the water hot to where for the amount we actually needed a water heater to kick in is if we were going to wash dishes, which we do it, once
Yeah.
once in a while, once in a blue moon. Basically, everything else is cold water.
What do you do? The dishwasher, that's here.
Yeah, we don't even need a dishwasher because most of the time. Everything is more, I've just never seen the use of a dishwasher in an office setup. I've actually talked to other people who have built new offices and said they didn't understand why they built a huge big kitchen eating area when nobody's there.
Yeah,
So I was trying to reduce that space so that we got a better use of everything else. The gallery was the big thing, so that you could have your meeting room, you could open up your doors to be the bifold. And still be able to have a private meeting, open it right up and use that foyer area as a gallery area. To add in more people. If it's so large of a thing, we use the hall.
Okay, and I guess another question was, we had talked about putting it on a basement or half a basement. Or was that into it?
This is been structurally set up that it can go on pilings, foundation, whatever type of piling foundation you wish to choose. This is set up specifically for either or.
and you're getting engineering done in that location, right?
I have Aptus Engineering is going out. They've just got everything scheduled, doing all the first calls. They have 2 sites. And also they're doing where they're gonna do sampling where the dumpsters are. They've got another site they thought might be appropriate too, so they're gonna do sampling there, and where we're going to be moving. The thought process of moving the dumpsters over, they're checking that site too, so we're gonna have full sampling and assessment of what would be the best option.
Okay. Now, the other thing is we talked about getting some advice from people that are experts in the community, just to have them take a look at it and see if there's anything we missed or any ideas and stuff. Were we going to do that?
Well, it's openly in your council package right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not an
So if
expert in the
you
area,
guys-
so.
If you guys wish to kind of leave this and not make a get your full estimate done and completed. And let people see the two designs before you make your final choice. I'm gonna leave that for you guys this fall. I'm concerned, I don't think you need any bigger of a space. I've talked to other municipalities that are small. And the footprint needs to be more consistent to this is your municipal office location. It's not a livable all the time, 24/7. That's not what we're looking for. This is your day-to-day municipal operations.
No, I agree. I don't think we need bigger.
Yeah, because when I thought about maybe we should go bigger, should I add an extra office? I went out and kind of talked to some of the other municipalities such as Town of Stettler, and I talked with Leanne and said, what do you guys think? And you only need 2 offices. That will allow for your growth.
What do you think, Lauren?
As far as making a decision on this, I think, would it be possible to put that on the November 22nd, so Ed can be there, or not the 22nd, for next week?
You want to table this to November 23rd, so you have more time? I can do that.
Well, I'm just thinking that full council should be involved in it.
I agree. Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty obvious that we're going to use Nelson Homes. And it's just that with not full council in on this thing, I don't think that's a wise move.
Yeah. Well, we've got another meeting set up, so as long as we get the money out by the end of the year, we're good.
Yep. Yep, so.
So November
motion tables.
23rd?
Hang on. We've got motion to table RTM municipal office design and quotes to the special meeting, same idea.
Yeah. So table. Okay.
Special meeting scheduled for November 23rd.
For all.
So we've got a motion here to table item RTM municipal office design and quotes to the special meeting on November 23rd. 2023 at 2 p.m. for all council to attend and discuss.
Okay, so then we'll do the office, and then the other item was the
Yeah, so you got 2 items you're gonna deal with at that special meeting. You have it in a resolution, and that's perfectly clear.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
You've made too many motions.
Okay, let Lauren make that motion.
You're Thurston.
I just want people to know I'm here, Lauren.
Oh, yeah, well, they know you're here. Okay, yeah, I think that
I think that's wise.
the way to go.
I agree.
Yay, I'm happy. Great,
Okay, so now we're into correspondence.
yeah. So that's all the stuff we've received. Is there any questions?
This one from Alberta municipalities.
Oh, the EPR, the extended producer responsibility, yeah, I wanna investigate this further, so. We put it in
Yeah.
here as information because I'm trying to figure out how does this work? I did leave a message for them so I could figure out what's going on here.
Okay. Okay, well, you can just update us when you find out.
Yeah,
Yeah, is that something like, yeah,
this is that new regulation.
are we
That they
being
have.
required to recycle more, or that's what I just didn't understand about that one.
I'm still trying to figure it out. All I know is the producers are gonna pay, but who gets the money? And who sets up the recycling? Do we wanna be part of that? But then how do we get it out? I don't know. Those are the questions I'm having concerns with is if the producer pays, then they're gonna pay somebody to recycle their product, right?
Yeah.
I think this been for municipalities, but it still puts the burden still somewhere. But maybe ratepayers don't have to pay as much, and that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I just didn't quite know on that one who was responsible for what on that, right? It's kind of, I think it's, it's a type of thing that where, I mean, certainly it's the future, but it has to have a plan, right?
And
Yeah,
that's, yeah,
it may
like
come
right
up
now,
at the land, the landfill meeting too, Bob.
Well, that's what I was wondering, whether I'm gonna sort of get up to speed on this fully and as much as I can, and then ask them on Friday.
I
Yeah.
would, because I think they're the ones who may be reaping the benefits more than we are. I don't know.
I know there's one lady, Mrs. Fox, and she's very, can't remember her first name now, but she's very up on the recycling and stuff, so she'll probably know.
Yeah,
Yeah, Fix.
Fix, I'm sorry, Fix, yeah.
Grace Fix.
there you go.
Yeah.
Grace, that's, yeah, I was blanking on her name, but I know she's a real expert on recycling, so I'm
So
gonna
she
sort of,
should probably know quite a bit or wanna know quite a bit about this.
yeah, she's really sharp on the recycling, yeah.
I'll continue investigating on my end, but yes, take it to your waste authority meeting.
Yeah,
Okay, unspent municipal sustainability. We did have a little bit of a talk, Bob, just previous to when you got online. And we had made that motion a few meetings ago about not going over the $250,000 commitment on the paying out. But the way it's worked now, Melissa explained that it's not the same as having a stick-built structure. So then it doesn't have to go out to that Northwest Trade Agreement stuff that would include like BC, Alberta, and whatever, and
right,
have to put it out. So it's kind of like buying a tractor or whatever.
right, okay,
So the amount of money that they say we have to spend is minimum of 299,000, but I think we've already spent some, haven't we, Melissa?
36, I think, haven't we?
We are gonna, depend, with this office and with what we've spent for some of our stuff that we're getting done, like the stormwater management plan. We've done the courts. We should be able to make that 299, no problem.
Okay. So with that in mind, Nelson Homes generally take a 15% deposit on their buildings, but Matt up there said that they would take any kind of deposit, so but we gotta do it before the end of the year, so. After
I
the
wanna
meeting,
make sure. Yeah, they'll take deposits, but it has to be in a solid, good agreement, because
right,
I am not gonna hand over a bunch of cash unless I know exactly what the conditions are, that if something went wrong, we get it back.
yeah, we may have to have Chapman Weaver look at something like that, I don't know, Melissa.
Yeah, I
We'll
think
leave it
I
on-
would agree. Yeah, I'd rather have legal take a look at it before we sign anything.
Okay. All right, so. Traffic, Stettler, traffic court date.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they're looking for. They want a support letter to assist their law enforcement agencies conducting traffic enforcement. So, do you want to do a support letter, or do you wanna just? We
I
don't
mean, is it really
do
gonna help?
that.
I mean, I guess I'm looking at this thinking, if they need a specific day for that, I mean, that's basically between the RCMP and the court system, isn't it?
I agree.
I mean, it's kind of like if they're not getting to the traffic things because there's too much other stuff going on, they got to send a judge out one more day a month. I mean, it's not up to us to do that.
So that was just in there as correspondence. The other thing is.
I mean, I guess we could see if they really think it's going to help, but I'm not sure. I'm just not sure what a letter from us is going to do on this.
I think what the RCMP is asking for is support from municipalities so that they can take the support letters to the provincial government.
I guess if it's going to help them, I mean, if it's going to help the RCMP, it wouldn't hurt to just write a quick letter, I guess, but we certainly want to help you. We certainly want to help the RCMP in any way we can, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, but maybe if we do it, maybe Melissa, you could get a hold of Clint or that Officer Brad McCallum and ask exactly what kind of wording they want, you know?
Well, I'm thinking do they have a template already that somebody else has done that we can just copy?
What I would do is get a hold of Clint and see if they have a template, and we would just put it as our municipality, if you agree.
Put our name on it,
Motion to
right?
approve.
Just, I mean, I
Yeah.
certainly think we want to help the RCMP any way we can, but I don't know what. I don't know
All
what,
I need from you guys as a council is motion to approve doing a support letter to Stettler Traffic Court date support letter.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay,
and I'll agree with that. I'm in favor.
Hold on, I gotta get in here somehow. Yeah. Motion by Lauren. Bear with me, guys. And we talked to Jake. He's remembering. We did he got like his keys on he finished the shift or either So a motion by Lauren to do a support letter to the RCMP regarding an additional date for additional date requirements for Stettler traffic courts. That don't sound right. Motion by Lauren to do a support letter to the RCMP regarding adding a Stettler traffic court date. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Thank you. So public surveys on local authorities election, are they opening up that whole thing again?
I'm not sure, so I thought I'd better let you guys know what's coming up and you should go and do the survey. Because they're doing a survey there must be a reason they're doing this, so. You should go in and do these surveys.
Well, some of this might be stemming from Chestermere too, and
Well,
more.
yeah,
And
that, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that all fell apart a week or two ago, right?
yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So if you
Okay.
guys go in and complete your due diligence and duty on these surveys, that'd be greatly appreciated.
okay.
And then the other is just a notification letter of who's on the steering committee for the Buffalo Lake Intermunicipal Development. That's who's sitting on that. Then the PRL annual municipality and board member information form. So you guys used to have me do the NELDA. Do you still want me to continue that?
Yeah, I think so, Melissa. If they still have a representative.
Okay, I'll give them a call and check on that. Okay, and then the official 2024 equalized assessment information, I've attached it for you guys to take a look at. And if you want to go online, there's all the information on how to do it.
Okay. It's interesting.
It is.
That's why I thought it was good for everybody to get to know how to work this.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. In camera, nothing there.
Nope.
So I guess we're done. And
Need a motion to accept the correspondence's information.
yep,
Who wants to do that?
You want me to, Lauren?
yeah, you go ahead. I'll make
I'll make the motion to accept the correspondence as presented.
a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
But you get the fun ones, Lauren. You only take the fun ones.
Well, I'm gonna go out in the backyard and sit in my ass and drink a cold beer.
Well, that's a good
There you
idea.
go.
So tough bananas.
Well, I gotta get my life in order after being away for a few weeks, so
Oh my God, I'm sure that is gonna take a bit.
it's a disaster. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys. Have a wonderful day and we'll see is when you're all back in time for the next meeting.
On the 23rd at 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I'll send it and I'll post it all up, so we're all good.
Okay,
Okay, Melissa, do you want me to come into the office as soon as I get back, or?
Yes, please, and sign some checks, and that's all I've got. So I'll let
Okay.
you guys go.
okay, thanks,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
bye.
Talk to
Bye.
you later. Bye.